Hello world, it is Tuesday, April 20th, 2021, and today it's overcast and kind of rainy. It was actually snowing when I let the dogs out this morning, but I think it's going to be warm enough today where if it is raining, it's just going to be rain. And there's some threat of snow over the next couple of days. I'm hearing different reports. Some are just snow flurries. Some people are saying 3 inches. I don't know. I'll believe that when I see it. Today the devotion is entitled Everything That Breathes by Vince Amlin. Vince bases the devotion upon Psalm 150 verse 6a, the very first part of that verse. Let everything that breathes praise God. Vince writes, I've missed the doxology this year, the opening chords that tell me it's time to stand, the words of praise I've been singing since I could sing. Despite the challenges of singing together online, every few months I ask the congregation to try it anyway. I pick a key, folks unmute ourselves, and Zoom gets very confused about who it should focus on. It sounds terrible, but each time someone says how much they needed it. Music has saved me this year. The living room dance parties, the surprise album drops, the road trip playlist from a friend that introduced me to Church by Sam Henshaw. Why are you reading this instead of listening to that song? Late last summer, our music director programmed a concert series on the church lawn. The first Friday, 50 or so of us gathered inside chalk circles for a French horn quartet, the only live music we've heard in 6 months. 4 bars into the opening number, I looked around to see if anyone was crying as hard as I was. They were. Sometimes it's suggested that we sing praise for God, like it does something for God to hear voices. I can't imagine what. But it does something for me. Gathering to record the weekly worship songs already exhausted, though it's only Wednesday afternoon. Singing for 2 hours together until we decide the videos are as good as we can make them. And every week I walk home thinking, God, I needed that. Vince's prayer. For the gift of breath, for the song it carries, for the weight that floats off with it, I praise you. This devotion brings up a lot of different things. One is an affirmation of all that we've missed church-wise. Well, maybe even not just church-wise, but just entertainment-wise, enjoying arts and media live. That's been a big issue with the pandemic since we can't gather together in large groups, and we can't really shouldn't be singing a lot together. But how important it is, even when we're not trained vocalists, to raise our voices together as a group, or to listen to someone play a French horn. I love French horns, for example. It's nice to see it online. It's just not the same as seeing it and hearing it in person, I think. I was also thinking of our worship services. I have tried to incorporate some music into them. A video typically of a choral piece or an instrumental piece played somewhere, most often from First Plymouth Church in Lincoln, Nebraska. It's a big UCC church out there that has some wonderful music. But we've also, even when we're meeting in person, I've introduced some singing again. A very short, we do sing the doxology. We've had that as part of our worship service all along, although it's been primarily just the organ playing. But we are inviting people to sing it who are in the congregation with masks on. It's a short piece. We're also singing some verses of a hymn just before we close, because my thinking is, like Vince, singing is important, and by singing it at the very end of the worship service and not necessarily all the verses, especially for a long song, just before we leave, minimizes the risk, because there's a balance. We need that song and that singing together. lifting our voices together. But the devotion also gave me some thoughts about maybe we should try something this summer a little different. Maybe out on our front lawn. I'll play with that a while and see what comes up. But certainly if any of you know of any musical groups or someone who might be willing to play, contact me and let's see what we can put together. I hope you have a good day. I hope you stay warm today and dry. And I will try to talk to you again tomorrow.